Namaste dear students, I heartily welcome to all my dear 10th standard students for E-Samveda science class. In this class we shall know, discuss, understand the concepts pertaining to the chemical reactions and equations. So, this is my second session. In the first session we had discussed about the meaning of chemical reactions, chemical equations, writing up of chemical equations and then balancing of the chemical equations. I hope you have done your home assignment along with the help of your textbook, or you could have got your help of your teachers. I think you have completed. Well done my dear students. So, today this is a continuation of the first chapter 1. Okay. So, in this chapter we shall be discussing about the following learning points. In this class we shall be knowing about the types of chemical reactions. Here we will be discussing about combination reactions, exothermic and endothermic reactions. Then later on we will be discussing about decomposition reactions. Moving on, we will be knowing about the displacement reactions, then double displacement reaction, and then oxidation, reduction and redox reactions, and last but not the least is corrosion and rancidity. Moving on, we will be continuing with the displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, oxidation and reduction, redox reactions, and then we will know about corrosion and rancidity. Okay. So, before starting up, I hope you have kept a notebook along with you, a pen and your textbook, so that you can note down your main key points. So, moving on to the next one. First we will know about what are combination reactions. A chemical reaction in which a single product is formed from two or more reactants is known as combination reactions. Okay, in a simple manner, if we want to depict this reaction, so A plus B gives rise to C. It is a chemical reaction in which it is just an alphabetical depiction of the combination reaction. Later on we will know about the examples. So, here it is a reaction in which a single product is formed when two or more reactants react together is known as combination reactions. We will move on to the next slide. We will see few examples for the combination reactions. The first example here is calcium oxide CaO reacts with water to produce calcium hydroxide. You can see the chemical equation. CaO reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice. CaOH twice will be in aqueous state. Second example, as you can see here, burning of coal. Coal is burnt, it reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, along with which heat and light will also be generated. Moving on to the next slide, examples for combination reactions. Next one here is formation of water. As we know, water is called elixir of life. This is formed by combining hydrogen and oxygen to form H2O. So, here the equation is balanced. Here you can see 2H2 plus O2 giving rise to 2H2O, which is in the liquid form, whereas the reactants, both the reactants, here you can see hydrogen and the oxygen, both of them are in the gaseous state, but water is in the liquid state. So, both the gases combine together to form this wonderful elixir compound, that is water. Now, let us perform the activity of combination reactions. What are combination reactions? When two or more reactants react together to produce a single product is called as combination reactions. Now, we are going to perform an experiment of combination reactions. Here I am going to take calcium oxide. Okay. So, calcium oxide, I am going to take very small amount of calcium oxide in the beaker. Now, I am going to add water to it. So, you just observe the change, what happens. So, here it is mixing up with water and calcium hydroxide is being formed. Okay. So, when I just touch the beaker, it is quite bit, the heat is generated, and hence such type of reactions are called exothermic reactions. Exothermic reaction is a reaction in which heat is generated or released
along with the formation of products.
So, moving on to the next one, here I have written exothermic reactions. Okay, here the next slide shows represents exothermic reactions. So, what are exothermic reactions? Etymological meaning of exothermic, it is actually basically derived from Greek words. Okay, exo means outside, thermikos means heat. So, what are exothermic reactions? The reactions in which heat is released along with the formation of products is known as exothermic reactions. So, we will know the examples for these reactions. First example here is burning of natural gas. As you can see on your screen, methane reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water is released along with heat will also be liberated. Methane, it is a hydrocarbon. As you can see, the formula of methane is CH4. Okay. It burns in oxygen to form carbon dioxide, heat and light will also be liberated. Okay. Moving on to the next slide, respiration. Respiration is also an exothermic reaction. So, what we inhale is oxygen, exhale is carbon dioxide. So, when you just keep your fingers near your nostrils, you can feel the warmth of the carbon dioxide which is coming out, which is exhaling outside. It is an exothermic reaction, and again the decomposition of vegetable matter into compost is also an exothermic reaction wherein heat will be generated or it will be liberated. Moving on to the next slide, endothermic reactions. What is the etymological meaning of the word endothermic? Endo means inside, thermikos means heat. The reactions in which the heat energy is absorbed is known as endothermic reactions. Example is melting of ice cubes. You might have experienced it. When you keep the ice cubes outside the refrigerator, it gradually starts converting into liquid state. Okay, I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next slide, decomposition reactions. Okay, what are decomposition reactions? A single reactant breaks down into two or more products is known as decomposition reactions. So, if I do the pictorial, alphabetical pictorial depiction of this reaction, I can write something like this. Okay, a single reactant decomposes to form a single reactant AB, just alphabetical depiction, AB breaks down into A plus B or even more. Such type of reactions are known as decomposition reactions. Here example, as we can see on your screen, when ferrous sulphate FeSO4 is heated, three products are generated. Here it is iron oxide Fe2O3 plus sulfur dioxide gas, and sulfur trioxide gas is also evolved. So, here we can see a single reactant breaks down into two or more products.
Okay, now we are going to conduct an experiment for decomposition reactions. Decomposition reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which a single reactant decomposes into two or more products. In this class today, we shall be conducting the decomposition of ferrous sulphate. Ferrous sulphate, you can just see in this, from the container I have shifted it into the test tube, the beautiful light green color of the ferrous sulphate. So just carefully observe what happens when I start heating it up. So the sound what you are listening here is the water is evaporating. Ferrous sulphate is hydrous in nature. Okay, you can see here the green color has changed into white color, anhydrous ferrous sulphate. Upon continuing heating, just carefully observe what happens. Getting some gas of the sulphur, the characteristic odor of sulphur could be felt here. Okay, you can see the brown color. This brown color is of iron 2 oxide. Ferrous sulphate decomposes into iron 2 oxide Fe2O3 plus sulfur dioxide, and sulfur dioxide gas will be liberated.
Moving on to the next one, decomposition of calcium carbonate to calcium oxide on heating is also another very important decomposition reaction. It is used in various industries. Basically the CaO that is formed, it is called lime or quicklime. It is used in the manufacture of cement. Cement, as we know, it is an important ingredient for especially the building purposes. So, hence calcium oxide is used in the manufacture of cement. The decomposition of calcium carbonate into calcium oxide and CaO plus CO2 is an example for decomposition reactions. Here we can see the equation, chemical equation on your screen. So, this decomposition reaction is carried out with the heating. So, when we heat calcium carbonate, it decomposes into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas is evolved. So, here heat is used up. When such type of reactions wherein heat is used to decompose the reactants, such type of reactions are called thermal decomposition reactions. So, earlier we saw even the ferrous sulfate, when it was heated, yes, it decomposed into products. So, moving on to the next slide. So, here we can see again another example of thermal decomposition. When lead nitrate is heated, PbNO3 twice, when it is heated, it forms lead oxide and nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas is evolved. When it is heated, it decomposes into this much of products, and again this is an example for thermal decomposition. So, we saw thermal decomposition, examples for thermal decomposition was ferrous sulfate, heating up of ferrous sulfate, then decomposition of calcium carbonate into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, and then the third example is decomposition of lead nitrate into lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas will be liberated. So, here you can see the fourth example. What is this? Decomposition of silver chloride into silver and chlorine by sunlight. So, the formula of silver chloride is AgCl. When AgCl is placed in presence of sunlight, it decomposes into silver and chlorine. Silver bromide also behaves in similar way as silver chloride is behaving. So, when silver chloride, silver bromide, they are placed outside in the presence of sunlight, they decompose, the heat present in the sunlight decompose them into silver and bromine. Basically, this is used in white and black photography. Here sunlight is used as a source of energy. Next one, electrolysis of water. Electrolysis of a water is a process of using electricity to decompose water into oxygen and hydrogen gas. Electro means electricity, lysis means breakdown. What are we breaking down? We are breaking down water into its constituent components, hydrogen and oxygen. So, I already told you it is an important elixir of life without which no life can exist on this planet Earth, and here it decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen gas. So, here we are using the electrodes. Okay, basically here we use the graphite. Graphite is an allotropic form of carbon, it is a form of carbon. Electrodes are nothing but which are good conductors of electricity. So, when electrodes are dipped, when they are placed in a container like this, when water is added and then when it is connected to some power source, when the current is formed, the water gets lysed into hydrogen and oxygen gas, and oxygen will be collected in the anode, positive anode, and hydrogen will be collected in the negative cathode electrode. And this diagram, it is an important diagram, you have to practice for your exam. So, next one here is the displacement reactions. What are displacement reactions? A reaction in which one element displaces or removes another element is known as displacement reaction. Okay. Here as you can see here, examples, when you look into the examples, iron, when iron nail is introduced into the blue brilliant color of copper sulphate solution CuSO4, here iron displaces copper from its place, and then here iron sulphate or ferrous sulphate is formed and copper, it comes out here as a product. Similarly, zinc also displaces copper from its copper sulphate. Copper sulphate got very brilliant blue color, it displaces copper from copper sulphate solution, and here we get zinc sulphate and copper will be formed. So, here we can see one element is displacing another element, or it is removing it from its position, it is just displacing or removing from its position. Okay, such type of reactions are called displacement reactions. I hope this is clear for you. So, moving on to the next slide. Already as I said, from the above reactions we can say that iron and zinc are more reactive than element copper, hence they displace copper from its copper sulphate solution. Moving on to the next one. Here again there is what is it in the picture, what chemical apparatus is that? So, it is a laboratory apparatus, it is a conical flask. Here the blue color liquid is the copper sulphate solution. When iron nail is introduced into it, the blue color of copper sulphate gradually fades and iron becomes brownish.
Now we are going to conduct an experiment about displacement reactions. Displacement reactions are a type of reactions wherein one reactive element displaces a less reactive element. Okay, so for this I am going to take zinc granules, as you can see in my hands. So these are the zinc granules, metal. I am going to take few pieces of zinc granules inside a beaker. Here I am adding. Okay, and now here I am going to add sulfuric acid here. So you have to be very careful while doing this experiment, and you have to be, this has to be conducted under the supervision of your teacher. So I am adding acid. You can see hydrogen gas is released. So here zinc plus H2SO4, when we take it up, zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas will be evolved. You can see the bubbles. Yeah, the gas which is evolved is the hydrogen gas. So this is an example for displacement reaction.
Moving on to the next slide. So, it is a double displacement reaction. What do you mean by double displacement? Already we studied about displacement. What is double displacement? So, a reaction in which there is exchange of ions between the reactants is known as double displacement reaction. Moving on to the next one. Example for double displacement reaction here is, as you can see on your screen, sodium sulphate in its aqueous state reacts with barium chloride to form barium sulphate and sodium chloride. Here you can see there is exchange of ions. Sodium takes the places of barium and barium takes the places of sodium. So, here it is completely, we can see the ions get exchanged, and here you can see barium sulphate and sodium chloride is formed. Such type of reactions are known as double displacement reactions.
Now let us perform the experiment of double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction is a reaction in which the ions get exchanged in the reactants. Now I have taken here barium chloride and sodium sulphate. Okay, I have made the solution of barium chloride and sodium sulphate in two test tubes. Let us see what happens when I mix them. Okay, so as soon as I mix, you can see a white precipitate has formed, right? So this white precipitate formed is of barium sulphate, okay, and sodium chloride will be formed. This is the example for double displacement reaction, and similarly this is an example for precipitation reaction too. So in a precipitation reaction, a reaction in which a precipitate is formed is precipitation reaction. Precipitate is any insoluble substance formed.
What is precipitate? Precipitate is any substance which do not dissolve, or it is insoluble substance, or any reaction that produces a precipitate is known as precipitation reaction. Here I have taken up the same example what I have given for double displacement. So, sodium sulphate reacts with barium chloride to form a beautiful white precipitate of barium sulphate, and sodium chloride is formed. So, moving on to the next one, oxidation reaction. What is oxidation reaction? If a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a reaction, such reactions are known as oxidation reactions. As the name itself suggesting oxidation, adding up of oxygen, gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a reaction is known as oxidation reaction. Example, when copper powder or copper, it is heated in the presence of air, it reacts with oxygen to form a black coating on copper. So, that is copper 2 oxide.
We are going to conduct about oxidation reactions. What are oxidation reactions? Oxidation reactions, oxygen is gained or hydrogen is removed. Here I have taken copper wire. Okay, when I just heat it up, when I heat, you can see the brilliant color of the copper. When I start heating it up, so it loses its color, and carbon soot will also be formed on the metal. Along with that, black coating is also formed. This black coating is of copper 2 oxide.
Reduction reactions. Okay, if a substance loses oxygen during a reaction or gains hydrogen during a reaction, such type of chemical reactions are known as reduction reactions. Example, when in the previous slide we saw copper oxide was formed when copper was burnt in oxygen. When we take up this copper oxide and when hydrogen gas is passed through it, the reverse action takes place, copper and water will be formed. What the black coating of oxide was formed, gradually it fades and reddish brown color of the copper, we get again the color of the copper back. Moving on to the next one, redox reactions. It feels something like a combination of oxidation and reduction, right? You are absolutely correct. So, if in a reaction one reactants get oxidized while other gets reduced during a reaction, such type of reactions are known as redox reactions or oxidation reduction reactions. We will move on to the next and we will see the examples for redox reactions. Here copper oxide reacts with hydrogen to form copper and water. Zinc oxide reacts with carbon to form zinc. Copper oxide gets reduced to copper and hydrogen gets oxidized to water. Whereas in the second example, zinc oxide it reduces to zinc, whereas the carbon it is oxidized to carbon monoxide. So, here both oxidation and reduction reactions are occurring simultaneously together and such type of reactions are known as redox reactions. I hope this is clear. Move on to the next slide. Corrosion. So, what is corrosion? The screen you can see behind the text here some iron metal wherein all brown flaky substances are formed on it. When a metal is attacked by substance around it such as moisture, acid, etc., it is said to corrode and this process is called corrosion. So, example, rusting of iron. When iron is exposed to moist air for a long time, it acquires a brown flaky substance called rust. So, here I have an iron nail, it is not clear, already brown flaky layer has formed on it. So, here it is exposed to for a longer duration to the moist air, hence it has acquired a brown flaky layer of rust, which is nothing but iron 2 oxide Fe2O3 into 2H2O. So, similarly I have got a few more examples, few more small nails here. So, here on the copper sheet we can see light green color, greeny substance, green coat formed here. So, this green coat is also due to the corrosion. So, copper reacts with carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere to form copper carbonate. Similarly, here I have got one silver vessel, you can see clearly silver is not clear, there are number of black color coating formed on it. So, silver reacts with sulfur present in air to form silver sulphide. So, metals usually they have the luster on it. So, one of the important physical features of majority of the metals is they have luster, they have a bright shining appearance on it. So, due to corrosion they lose their luster. So, moving on to the next one, what are the effects of corrosion? Corrosion causes damage to the car bodies, bridges, iron railings, ships, especially those of iron. Here you can see large wheels wherein you can see all brown flaky layer formed on it. So, it is wasted up. Moving on to the next slide, what are the effects of corrosion? So, corrosion of iron is a very serious problem. Every year enormous amount of money is spent to replace the damaged iron. So, moving on to the next slide. So, here you can see on your screen it is rancidity. What is rancidity? When fats and oils are oxidized, they become rancid, their smell, taste changes and we cannot eat it. So, this is called rancidity. So, next one. So, how to prevent rancidity? So, here by using a proper antioxidant, keeping the food in airtight containers and flushing the bags of chips with gas such as nitrogen to prevent chips from getting oxidized. I hope you understood this. Moving on to the next, the recapitulation part. Okay, here there are few multiple choice questions. The first question, a substance added to food containing fats and oils is called option 1 oxidant, option B coolant, option C antioxidant, option D is antiseptic. Okay, what do you think the answer might be? Yeah, very good. It is antioxidant. When antioxidants are added, it avoids the food from getting oxidized. Okay. So, moving on to the second question, dear students. The respiration process during which glucose is broken down by combining with oxygen is an example for. We will look into the options. First is exothermic reaction, second is endothermic reaction, third is redox reaction, and 4 is neutralization reaction. What might be the answer, students? Yes, you are absolutely correct. The answer here is option A, exothermic reaction. Moving on to the next one. So, here one equation has been given. Carbon, when it reacts with oxygen, is forming carbon dioxide. This reaction is an example for option A, double displacement reaction, option B, displacement reaction, option C, decomposition reaction, option D, combination reactions. What might be the answer, do you think? Yes, you are absolutely correct. It is option D, combination reactions to form a single product. So, this is an example for combination reaction. Well done, children. Your answer is absolutely correct. It is option D, combination reactions. Moving on to the next slide and next question, we have here science quiz, right. So, here the question appears on your screen. Name the gas that is used to inflate the chip bags, that which prevent chips from undergoing rancid. So, what is the gas? What is your answer? Yes, you are absolutely correct. Very well done. It is nitrogen. Moving on to the next question. Rusting of iron is an example for. It is an example for. Yeah, absolutely correct. Your answer is oxidation reaction, right. Usually iron, it reacts with atmospheric oxygen or moist air, water vapor to form and coating of iron oxide. Moving on to the next part, that is home assignment. So, please write down first question, what are chemical combination reactions? Second one, why heating of limestone is considered to be decomposition reactions? Third one, draw a neat label diagram depicting electrolysis of water. Okay. What are chemical combination reactions? Why heating of limestone is considered to be a decomposition reactions? Draw a neat label diagram depicting the electrolysis of water. Moving on to the next question. Fourth one, differentiate between exothermic and endothermic reactions. Fifth question, what are precipitation reactions? And sixth question, why are chips bags are inflated with nitrogen gas? To avoid oxidation, right. I hope you have understood the concepts, dear students. Namaste and thank you. Please do take assistance of your teacher, or please go through the textbook and write down your home assignment questions. And I am your presenter for today's class. My name is Rupa. I work as a science teacher at Government Urdu and English High School, Goripalya. Thank you.